I hope I can't quite see what I can't see in the front there, I think. And I actually wish I could be there with you in person. You know, I mean it. You know, and by the way, again, to ad lib a second here, you know, you're also, what people don't realize, you're the same folks who are there holding the boot in the corner to raise money for the people who just lost their home. Not a joke. That's what you do. That's what you do. You're the ones who line the Little League fields. You're the one, you're just, anyway, you're an incredible group of individuals. You know, in Delaware, I grew up in Claymont, Delaware, and across, I went to a little school called Holy Rosary Grade School across from the Claymont Fire Hall. And all my buddies, they either became a firefighter, a cop, or a priest. I wasn't qualified for any of them, so here I am. But, you know, it's truly amazing that I may not like what I got done, but the vast majority of the American people do like what I got done. And so it's a matter of, can you do the job? And I believe I can do the job. I've been able to do the job. I've got
reporting, CNN's reporting, and the Washington Post reporting suggests that prosecutors think they have enough to charge your son Hunter for tax crimes and a false statement about a gun purchase. Personally and politically, how do you react to that?
Well, first of all, I'm proud of my son. And by the way, this thing about a gun, I didn't know anything about it, but it turns out that when he made my application to purchase a gun, what happened was I guess you get asked the question, are you on drugs, you use drugs? He said no. And he wrote about saying no in his book. So I have great confidence in my son. I was doing Meet the Press, and lightning struck a little pond behind my house, came up through the ground into the air conditioning system, ended up generating thick black smoke, literally that of those proportions. And from the basement to the third floor, the attic, everything was ruined. And the kitchen floor, we almost lost a couple firefighters, they tell me, because the kitchen floor was the burning between the beams in the house, in addition to almost collapsed into the basement.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
We passed so much legislation that significantly makes a point about, you know, passed so much legislation that significantly makes a point about, you know, for example, the American Rescue Plan, the legislation to deal with inflation, the Inflation Act.
Should the American people prepare for a recession?
No. Look, they've been saying this now. How every 6 months they say this. Every 6 months they look down the next 6 months and see what's going to happen. It hadn't happened yet. It hadn't. There's no guarantee that there's going to be. I don't think there will be a recession. If it is, it'll be a very slight recession. That is, we'll move down slightly.
Can you talk to us a little bit about the thinking on the president's upcoming travel? He's going to the West Coast tomorrow. He isn't visiting Arizona or Nevada. I mean, we have 4 weeks until the midterm. Should we expect to see him travel to some of the more competitive states, campaign alongside some of the candidates who are in very competitive races?
You know, we've been very clear that the president's going to go out, the vice president's going to go out, the cabinet secretaries, and you'll see Democrats in Congress. They're going to talk about the success that we have seen in this administration in the last 19 months. And he's going to talk about the Inflation Reduction Act, which is going to help our seniors lower costs. It's going to help energy costs. That's what you're going to hear the president talking about. So that's what you're going to hear the president talk about his economy, how he's able to put forth a policy that really doesn't leave anybody behind, builds the economy from the bottom up, middle out. And so that's what you're going to continue to hear from us. I don't have any specific locations to share in the next 4 weeks, but of course the president loves being out there, and you'll continue to see